There is a superpower inside of you that you may not even know you have. I did not discover mine by staying comfortable and following a perfectly planned out path. I discovered it by taking risks, managing and making my mistakes, and losing things that I thought I needed, and continuing to move forward even after those slip ups. And over the last few years, I have experienced some unbelievable highs and unbelievable lows in specifically the crypto market. And one of the most intense experiences that I had was I invested around $1,000 into, some of you might know, the BFS Mr. Beast coin. And I watched that $1,000 grow to more than $22,000 at the time. And it felt unreal. I thought I had made a decision that completely changed my life. And then within the span of about an hour, I watched all of that money just disappear when there was a massive pull. And keep in mind, I am not saying to invest all your money into the crypto market because it is a very, very risky asset. I am in the crypto world myself, but I think it is very, very smart to know what you're putting in there. And I can make a whole nother video on all that stuff. Um, Losing that money was very, very painful. And I kept thinking about what I could have done differently when I should have sold and saved that $22,000 and what I could have used that money for if I had it. It would have been easy for me to walk away from investing completely and convince myself that taking those risks was very irresponsible. And for a while, I could have allowed that experience to become proof that I was not meant to succeed financially. And instead of all that BS, I took it to heart and it became one of the most valuable lessons that I have ever received. That loss taught me that making money and keeping money are two completely different things and two completely different skills. And it exposed my lack of experience and showed me how quickly my emotions, such as I experienced greed for holding on for so damn long, the excitement, I mean, that adrenaline that I had just refreshing constantly watching that skyrocket, and then also the fear and the lack of control that I had in that decision making there. And I realized that I did not need to stop taking risks. I needed to just become more educated in that field and more disciplined, more intentional about the risks that I took. And in the crypto market, I showed you guys proof. I am still there and I am taking a slower route in my investments and dollar cost averaging compared to these crazy pump and dump meme coin schemes, which every once in a while there is one that I'll jump into with money that I believe is more playful money, if that makes sense. But the experience pushed me toward long-term investing overall. It encouraged me to learn more about businesses, about money and ownership specifically, and creating assets that could grow over time. And eventually, the knowledge I gained and the research that I did helped me to build businesses and make my first $10,000. I was around 18 years old when I hit that benchmark. And looking back, I realized that the loss was not the end of my journey. It was just the beginning. And it was the start of something way bigger and way more meaningful than that little meme coin pump scheme that I experienced. Without taking that original risk, I might have still been in the same position I was in before it happened, and I may never have developed the curiosity that pushed me to study investing and be more serious about what I'm learning. And I may never have realized that I was capable of creating businesses and launching products and launching things and creating things online and building audiences and turning ideas into real opportunities. And you real ones out there, you understand, I'm going to break down my network on what I worked on recently. The more businesses I created, the more I learned about myself. Every project taught me something different and something beneficial that I could take and move forward with that knowledge. And don't get me wrong on this. I mean, it's not a perfect uphill, these stack on top of each other perfectly. There's some ideas that worked, there's some ideas that worked tremendously, and then there's others that failed and failed miserably. And some brought in money while others brought in, I guess the best way to put it is lessons. They did not make money. And however, every experience that I have had, especially in this field, has expanded my understanding of what was possible. And most recently, in the business field, I sold a social media network that had grown to more than 3 million followers, along with, of course, its website that I had created and a newsletter that I had created containing over 30,000 active subscribers and readers. And years ago, I would not have imagined myself building something like that. I did not begin with all of the knowledge, the confidence, the connections required to create something like that. I gained those through starting before I had felt completely ready and confident in learning throughout that process. And the experiences that I have learned, those taught me something I continue to believe. You cannot become what you cannot see. And your imagination is often limited by what you have experienced. When you have never been exposed to entrepreneurship, investing, content creation, leadership, or certain careers, it is difficult to imagine yourself succeeding in those areas. And you may believe you lack potential when the truth is that you simply have not discovered where your potential belongs. They may be an industry, career, business skill, or opportunity that perfectly matches your abilities, but you do not know it exists yet. There is someone in the world who may be less talented, less intelligent, less capable of you, but they are succeeding because they were willing to enter a room that you were not confident enough to step into yourself. They discovered an opportunity that you have never seen or developed a skill or you have never even attempted. And now that does not mean you are behind. That means that there's just a lot more for you to discover. I've learned that growth comes from exposure, and the more people you meet, the networking, the more places you go, the more books you read, the more ideas you explore, and the more chances you take, the larger your understanding of life is, the new experiences that you get, your mind is going to grow in ways that you did not know was possible. Taking a leap of faith does not guarantee that everything will work out perfectly. I know that from experience, sometimes you lose money, sometimes your business will fail, sometimes an opportunity will not become what you hoped it would be. But even those experiences can give you knowledge, discipline, and even just a great perspective on something that comfort can never give you. And the greatest risk may not be failing, but the greatest risk may be living your entire life without discovering what you truly are capable of becoming. Do not unknowingly limit your potential to the small world you have already experienced. You're going to discover the thing that reveals who you are. And your dormant superpower may not appear until the life that you live truly demands of it, and you will not discover it by waiting for certainty. You're going to discover it by moving, exploring, failing, learning, having enough faith in yourself to believe that there is more inside of you than you currently have an understanding of. The superpower is your ability to expand your potential through your experiences.